Hello and welcome to another episode of Adopted Geordies, brought to you by BetMGM. I'm Andy Jaye, sat with the main man, Mr. Rob Lee, and we've got a very special guest. I'm expecting I'm going to do almost no talking at all for this one because, well, we're in capable hands. We have the man, the myth, the legend that is Mr. John Beresford in the house. Come on!
He's good, isn't he?
How are you, John?
I take him everywhere. I take him everywhere. I go down the shops, I just take him. It's great when you go to Sainsbury's and he's all like, Rob Lee's in the...
Yeah, he's at the pot noodle again. Move him away. No more sugars, Rob. Come on.
No, it's just weird actually sitting with Rob, and I'm just waiting for, because you're bullying me all up. It's like you're bullying me up to chop me off at the legs, and you're going to give me sticks.
No, not at all. No,
you're teeing me up for something.
Good
I know
cop,
that.
bad cop's coming.
Is that what it is?
Soon.
Yeah, it's got to be.
This is the episode that the viewers want. The viewers want to see, because Rob has been a revelation coming in as a co-host. Everyone thought he'd be terrible, and it turns out he's really good. He's really good at it.
I ain't seen him yet, so I'll hold that.
Yeah, well, we need the subscribers, so please like and subscribe. And Rob just said to me, "Listen, don't worry about notes for Bez. I'm on it. I'm on it." So over to Rob.
Always.
Yeah, I've got some questions for you, but
have you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, go on,
are we going in the past? Are we looking at the future, or
we're looking at
or
everything.
as we are in the present? I don't know.
Everything for you and your your long blonde hair that we used to have years ago.
Let me start with this one then. I'm taking over for a minute, Rob, and then it'll be over to you. We always talk about how much people are worth these days. You know, we talk about transfer records, we talk about players' values and so on. Obviously, when you guys were playing, the big thing was Shearer joining the team, £15 million. But actually, you guys became such a phenomenal team. The entertainers, finishing second, doing all those brilliant things. If you were playing now and you were transferring to Newcastle now into this team, how much would you guys be worth?
Well, he'd done percentages. You were 700 grand when you came. I was 650.
Yeah.
So going in percentages there, it's probably gone up now 100%.
So 70 million, 60 million.
Well, I'm just going on the numbers. The thing of it is, it's for other people to give the value.
Yeah, I mean, don't you think that, when we were going through, we had Keegan. It was your idol, my idol. Yeah. We both loved him. That probably the reason we both signed for Newcastle. It wasn't because of Newcastle, because it wasn't a great club then. No. We signed because of Keegan. But don't you think that now it's not run by one person, is it? Like Alex Ferguson ran Man U. Keegan signed all the players. You met Keegan, I met Keegan. Yeah. I bet if players met, they wouldn't meet Eddie Howe.
That's it.
They would meet a sporting director. They would meet somebody else, wouldn't they?
And that's what I find bewildering, because if I'm signing, as we know, we're signing for Keegan because he's picking the team. So for me, I want to know what's his thoughts about me. And when he comes to me and says, "This is what you'll do for my team. This is where you'll take you," and I'm like going, "Brilliant! Now I'm part of that club." I just think it now. It must be
bad for the manager as well, because
it must be a nightmare.
All these players just chucked on you that you. Oh yeah, I know a little bit about him, but I actually they keep like Chelsea. I mean, I feel sorry for him. He gets. Players chucked at him, when Graham Potter was there, and you think, well, I ain't bought these players.
I don't think that's the case here at Newcastle, though. I get the sense that Eddie is very
involved. Do you think Eddie
involved.
meets them?
Whether he meets them or not, maybe if they're going to be first teamers, I get the sense that Eddie would.
Because you sort of see,
see the way he was
I hope you're right.
Certainly, it appears to me that he has the final say, the green light. When he was talking about Tonali.
Yeah, he might have the final say, but does he go to meet the player and persuade him to come to Newcastle United? I don't think so.
There must be a conversation at some point.
You would have thought so.
Yeah, I hope so. I genuinely hope so, because that's what football is all about. You're signing for not just the club, but somebody who wants you to play for them.
Yeah, well, also Eddie's all about team spirit, isn't he? He wants
that's what it creates, because everybody's singing from the same hymn sheet. Everybody goes like when Kevin goes, right, you're in my team, you're going to do this and everything else. And when the team gets closer and closer, it's astonishing how far it takes you. Plus, as well, I think it has helped him with this, with the finance-wise, with what you can and can't spend. I think that's actually benefited Eddie.
The PSR situation.
Yeah, because, what he's done he's kind of created a team with a lot of camaraderie around it and everything else, rather than just, because you can sometimes bring different players in and they're bad apples. They come in for the wrong reasons. And because you're not spending the elite money, you're getting I think we're shopping in the right area. But if you want to now get to the next level, you've now got to get to the next level and you've got to buy the next level of player. And that's why when we were there, we grew with Kevin Keegan. Then your players who you bring in start to get better. Whether it be Philip Albert, David Ginola, Alan Shearer, Les Ferdinand, it gets better and better as you move on. And that's what I'm expecting now from Newcastle. And I'm just hoping that Eddie's going to be the man to take it there.
Do you know, that's what I love, is that anyone that knows about football always says the same thing, that they want Eddie to stay.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody appreciates what he's doing, what he's done, and what he can achieve. You know, occasionally you see these kind of people on social media and so on that probably have never played and are nothing to do with the game, really. They're just fans, they just watch, who are kind of always clamouring for a Mourinho to come in or someone like that. But Eddie's the man to take us places, isn't he?
But the problem you've got is when you've got owners who financially there's no limits, and they will hope somebody's going to have to advise them of what's the next person.
Right.
But it wouldn't surprise me when they go, well, can you get Ancelotti? You know, that's and he probably wouldn't be the right fit for Newcastle.
Yeah.
He wouldn't get it. And this is where you got to be very careful. You know, you got to be careful what you wish for. Yes, we've got the owners that are going to be limitless once everything gets sorted out. Yes, I do believe, and I think Rob said as me, that Eddie Howe is the perfect one to take us to the next step. Then yes, give him the tools that he needs, and that's where the finances then come in. But it wouldn't surprise me if because you can have, if you have a bad run and say, say we fall out of the top 6, for instance, and you come into, because in their head, our owners will go, well, we got Champions League a couple of seasons ago. Well, we should be progressing. We overachieved 2 years ago. So sometimes you've got to go, hang on a bit, just be wary where we are. Be careful how we deal with the situation, and then move forward.
Well, you guys were the cornerstone of for me when I was growing up, the most exciting, the most brilliant team, the team that I fell in love with, the team that was it was everyone's second team. Do you remember? Everyone was kind of talked about the entertainers as, even if you were a fan of Arsenal or Chelsea or whatever, you had a soft spot for Newcastle. So as a Newcastle fan, when you became that team, it was amazing. I asked Rob recently how the new team, this current team, Eddie's 11, compares with that team. And you said it's getting close now. What do you think, John? What do you think of the new 11? How do they compare with you guys in your heyday?
Yeah, it did give us a go.
Actually, I've replaced all the back 4.
Yeah.
Get rid of Beresford and Bar.
Yeah, it just shows you. No, it's on the front foot. They play with high tempo. We had more freedom than the way the modern days played. Kevin wanted, if you see it, you do it, which is you find really strange. You're saying that to people and go, what do you mean by that? To have that freedom to go out on an afternoon, and sometimes the game might be not going your way as a little bit. Players decide. I watch football now, and I can still watch even Newcastle to a point. I know how they set up. In certain areas what they're going to do. I'm telling you now, when we went out, no chance. You haven't got a clue how we're going to play.
Really?
No chance. When we were in England squads, and you'd meet with players, and they go, "What do you do?" We go, "We play 5-a-side and keep ball." And they go, "And what else?" And we go, "No,
Nothing.
That's it. Maybe crossing and shooting." And they go, "Well, what about set pieces and defending, attacking? 11v11s?" And we go, "Never done it." And they go, they found it astounding, and it is astounding.
Yeah.
It was up to you, Kevin. I believe that it's up to you to understand what you're going to do, and he would bring the game in on a throughout the week, so it's small-sided game, so it's tight, but the tempo has to be absolutely at full pelt, as though it's Saturday game tempo. Then I at the first I thought, God, it's just intense, and then you go on a Saturday, you go out and play on St James Park, and the game just goes, boom, it all opens up, and it becomes easy.
Really?
And when I asked him once, and he said he comes back to his Liverpool days, when he was growing up and coaching, he was saying they played a lot of small-sided games, so it improves your touch. But then he's very clever though. You've got to get the right players. You're not getting me wrong. I mean, people have fallouts. I had fallouts with Kevin, but I remember the funniest I ever had once. I once said to him about, "Do you not think if we played this way?" And he went, "Do you want to play?" He went, "No, I won't ask you anything else again," because he had an idea of how he wanted to play, and what it was free flowing, get the balls to the best players, which I knew what I was. I always remember that comment when the lads got is it Equipe, the French sports?
Yep, L'Equipe. Yep.
Yeah, and somebody went, here, Bez, you better read that. And David Janol had done an article, and it said there's two types of players. There is beautiful butterflies and there is working ants. I knew which one I was.
Well, you say that. You still scored some belters.
Oh, hey, don't go about his Champions League.
Oh, should we go down that?
Why have you gone there? Honestly,
why
have you gone there? Champions League.
It's all about me. My chest is popping out.
Well, it is about you. You're a special
Champions League.
I don't know if this is true or not, because it was just with comment. I have my goals per game, a percentage, is better than Ronaldo's and Messi's.
In the Champions League?
Yeah.
Is it?
4 in 6.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, not many people know
Nobody
that.
That's amazing.
I'm surprised you don't, because you don't keep it quiet.
Just think. No, it won't as well. Think of it is now, innit? Yeah, you score 1 goal in the Champions League, and then so that would be about 100 million. Then now we're in 4 in 6 in Champions League.
Left back. Well, I'd say left back-ish.
Ish.
Left winger, left back, obviously, yeah. He didn't play left back much, but...
What did that feel like when you guys were playing in the Champions League? Though? Because obviously we are so familiar with the music now. As a fan, when you hear that anthem come on, it's sort of hairs on the back of your neck stand up.
I think that it's the Europe thing, isn't it? I think that's the thing. Champions League is, it takes another level up, and because the intensity and everything else, and the atmosphere and the noise is it's just fantastic. It's completely different though. The game's completely different to a normal Premier League game. It's a bit more technical and everything else. But for me, I got frustrated because for the first 3 games, we had Kenny Dalglish. Well, no, right. Kenny Dalglish was there, but the first 3 games, he kind of let us play a little bit.
Okay.
And then he went ridiculous defensive, and I mean ridiculously. I got told we were playing away at PSV Eindhoven. Dalglish came to me before the game and he went, Bez, just want to let you know today, if you go over the halfway line, I'll take you off. And he said that, and I looked at him and I went, has he seen me play? You know what I say? There's no way. And he went, just do as you're told. We're going to hold it. They were a decent side, They were good team, the proper team. And I just was. But the thing, we had a nightmare was, Shearer got injured. Tino had got injured, and we got John Dole Thomason up front on his own, who was at that time wasn't physically ready, and it was just. I remember
got Rush in as well. We got Ian Rush came in, John Barnes came in, all the old Liverpool players came, didn't they?
But we just didn't have the legs, at that time, to break. And I was just getting. We went 1-0 down, and I was just thinking, right, he's got to let the brakes off. Let us go, and he was just keep the shape. I remember coming off. I don't think we had a shot, and I was like. I'm quite chirping. I remember saying to the gaffer, Gaffer, what's the chance of that? He went, just do as you're told. And it's like, hey. And he's just going, and I found he went frustrating. Kenny went against what Keegan's thoughts were.
Yeah.
I think he tried to change the thought process. I know what he was trying to do, but it was too much. We were indoctrinated into how we were going to play, and that's what we were going to do. And I just think we then had certain players doing certain things and certain players doing the other, and that's why the team sort of crumbled, and that's why Kenny didn't succeed.
It was heartbreaking as a fan. I couldn't understand what he was doing, and I know obviously he had come in having won the league, wasn't it, with Blackburn? Liverpool legend and all that kind of stuff. Plus he had this great relationship with Alan, so I understood why he was here. But I just didn't, he sells Ginola, he sells Ferdinand, he changes the way we're playing, like you've asserted, bringing in Barnes and Rush and so on. As a fan, it made no sense.
It didn't, and that's why it was. I finished up leaving. I remember he signed Stuart Pearce, and I was like, okay, fair enough. Then I knew Pearce was going to play centre half, left-hand side centre half at the time. So I was like, all right. Then he signed Alessandro Pastone, and I was like, we just signed another left back. Thought, well, the writing's on the wall for me. And I remember going to see him, and he went, and I says, have I got a future? He went, yeah. I went, well, why have you just signed him? And then then after a couple of weeks, after watching Alessandro was a decent player, but he was soft as shit. He really was.
He had great hair, though.
He looked the part and everything else. And I remember going to Ken and saying, look, you're going to get more from me than him. And he went, I know. So why are you not playing me? He says, because I think he paid $4.5 million for him.
$4.5 million, yeah.
And he said, we're going to play him to sell him back on. I went, well, I ain't playing.
Yeah.
I was playing in reserves in them days. You play at Gateshead. And I think I was 31. I thought, you can shove it. I ain't playing reserve team football now. And then in football, you can get, put word around. And I finished up leaving and going to Southampton. Biggest mistake of my life, because I thought Kenny would have been here, for another, 3, 4, 5 years. And then he finished up getting sacked a year later. And I was thinking, great decision, Bez. I should have stayed, yeah.
I mean, that sounds like a
been all right
genuine...
under Mr. Hullett. You'd have been fine. He'd have loved you. He would have loved you.
I thought he was just misunderstood.
Hullet would have loved you. Don't worry about that.
And do you know what? That'd have made my day if I'd have come back to play with Rude Hullett and he was bombed out. And I'd have been his teacher's pet.
Well, let's talk about the dynamic between you two, because obviously having you in the same room is delightful for me. But you're genuine mates, aren't you? This isn't kind of... There's no front here.
I don't like him at all. He was my actually when I first signed. Obviously, he's one of the reasons I signed, because I used to play so well against him. That's what I tell him. But he played with Paulsman, and then he obviously got recommended by to Keegan, and that's why he bought me. And then Keegan told him, because I'm this soft southerner, he said, "Well, you got to look after him." So we ended up being roomies, didn't we? And then
we're room partners for over 5, 6 years. So I know more about him than his missus does.
But the thing is right. The first time we had a room together, we were Peterborough away, and I mentioned it a little while ago about the crowd. It was going mad. My first away game, and he goes, it's the same as me. I get up early, he gets up. We were sort of like, he went, we're going to town, sort of thing. Chill out, we'll do this, and then we've got a team meeting at like 12 o'clock. And I went, okay, yeah, gone into town, come out this. Honestly, can we get a cab? Can we get a cab?
He's making his
There's
debut.
no Ubers in those days, but I'm now thinking it's getting like 20 past 11. It's 11:30. Now it's 25. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be late. I am going to be late for my first meeting away from home. Keegan is going to absolutely.
And he would have gone mental.
And I'm
mental.
Raging.
Yeah.
I'm raging.
He's going at me, you little shit. He's going, and I'm going, because he was me who was saying, I'm going to go out. I'm just going to have a bit of walk. I jumped in front of a car. So I was like that. Jumped in front of a car, and his bloke's going, what are you doing? So I'm telling you, you've got to take us to our hotel. I don't know how much it'll cost. I'd play it for you. Because I'm not just about it. We'd have been fined 2 weeks' wages.
Yeah.
And probably not start.
Wow.
That's one thing you can't be is
and
late
just
for Keegan's
could not
meeting.
get that. So,
yeah.
But anyhow,
that was my first thing for him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so he was a proper disciplinarian then. Yeah, I mean,
on certain things.
Yeah.
He was quite good, but if certain things upset him, like as Bez knows, you can't swear at him.
No, yeah, let's talk about that, Bez. There was a famous moment, 25 minutes into a match.
Well, it wasn't that
you
far.
told him.
No, I wasn't even that far.
You told him to F off.
15. Yeah.
Why did you swear at him? What had he done?
The story, Keegan never did tactical, and it was the game start before the game started. Keegan came to me, his first time playing Villa at home, live on Sky, and he just went. He says, "Bez, I just want you to play a little bit different today. They play 3 up front. Milosevic, Dwight York, Tommy Johnson. So he said, just want you to tuck in and help Philippe Albert use your pace with Dwight and Tommy, just to help him out." And then as he said that, I just went, oh, okay. And then he got up to walk away, and I went, whoa. I said, you've got another problem. And he went, what? I says, Gary Charles plays for them. He's like a wing back. I played England and B, and I says, he will not want to defend against Ginola. He'll just bomb on. And I says, if I'm tucked in, there's a lot of space. And he just went, don't worry, so I'm going to have a word with David to come back.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's laughing. I fucking start laughing as well. I went, Gaffer, come on. And he just went, no. He says, I'm going to have a word. And I'm thinking, yeah, whatever. So that's it. So off we go. Kick off. Literally 10, 15 minutes. I tuck in, and little Alan Wright, I always remember it, little Alan Wright pings it over my head, and I've turned, and Gary Charles is in. Right. He's in. David's on the halfway line looking beautiful, isn't he? So they cross, and they get an header in, and it goes out for a goal kick. But as I'm now coming out, we're jogging out, Keegan comes to the technical area, and he goes, Bez! And I just thought, if he has got, so I've lost it. Red mist comes, and I've gone, I fucking told you he won't come back. Now, the thing is what Robert said, you cannot, big taboo, you cannot swear, Kevin. Rightly so, especially, in
front of all the cameras. Yeah.
So, but I'm like, as I've said it, I'm thinking, it's packed house, he ain't heard me, and you're trying to grab your words and everything else within, and I mean, I'm now, game's going on, and I'm looking to the bench thinking, has he heard me? And then I see it. Derek Wright, who's the physio, I can see him going I can see Robbie Elliott warming up, and I'm going, shit, he's heard me. He's heard me. I swear.
Because you said sorry. I saw you say sorry.
I'm literally now. I'm thinking
that ain't going up's no good.
No, that's right. I'm thinking
I'm
going to have to score in the next few minutes to even have a chance of staying on. And then I'm thinking, no, I can't do it. It's only like 15, 20 minutes at most. Like, this is embarrassing. He can't do it. And then I can see Robbie getting changed, and I'm thinking, shit. The ball goes out of play, and number 3 comes up. I've lost it. I mean, because it's embarrassing, isn't it? You know, and I'm thinking I'm not even injured. People are looking, and then so I got on well with Robbie. I shake Robbie's hand, and as I'm walking past, Keegan literally not even looking at me, staring past me, and I turned to him and I went, "Shit decision." So I've gone, and then as I get to the bench, this is where it's funny because all the lads on the bench at the time, they've all scattered. They're all because they don't want to be.
No one wants to be near you.
No, they don't have anything to do with me. So anyhow, come sits down. I'm sat on the bench. I'm like that. I'm thinking, I'm finished. I'm thinking that's me. My career's finished here. And I'm thinking, shit. Anyhow, he's like I said for him, Kevin's sort of what would you call Arthur? He's
his mentor.
His mentor.
Yeah,
that's
big
best
mentor,
way. His mentor, Arthur Cox.
Yeah,
stands at side of the tunnel. So he goes, I've gone over to Arthur. I'm gone, Arthur says, and he looked at me and I went, what do I do? And he went, you better hope and pray we win, son. So I'm like, okay, yeah, fair enough. Anyhow, we're going at half time, team talk and everything else. We go back out, we win the game. Les Fernand scores 1-0. So I go to Arthur again, what do I do? He went, get in and see him. Go and see him. So I'm like, yeah, right. And he says, in fact, he said, beg, son. And I thought, yeah, I've no problem with that.
Yeah.
So, and he knows where we are. So changing rooms at this side, and then you come out and you go through a corridor, and there's a little coach's room where he used to. Once he'd done his team talk, he'd go and relax. So I knocks on the door, and he goes, "Come in." And I've walked in. He's gone, "Hey, Bez." And I literally didn't get on knee, but you know, you like. I went, "I've come to beg." And he went, "Don't be stupid." And this is when you go. He went. You know, you think, what a manager, because I said, look, I've come to apologise. He says, look, Bez, says, been there as a player, fully understand. He says, you know what, I think we should do? I think we should just carry on. He says, nothing's happened. And I thought, how good is that?
Brilliant.
Didn't fucking play for 4 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, you didn't get back in the team, did you?
No, didn't
talk to him for 4 weeks.
Didn't speak to me.
Really?
Didn't speak to me. And I was like, and even I was thinking, and then we went on tour. And when we went to Asia, and then it was when Shearer.
When we signed Shearer.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, you know, well, I'm still here. I'm not being sold, and I worked my nuts off pre-season. I remember, but I think we played Thailand, and I'd had a really good game, and he come walking up to me, and we were all on end of pitch, and I was sweating and he just got, and honestly, simple as it, he just walked past me, and he just tapped me, and he went, "You're back."
Wow.
And from then on, it was Kevin again. Yeah. You know, Joe, and I was like,
so you had basically had the jilted lover treatment.
Proper.
Oh, Keegan
proper.
done that a lot. Yeah.
Oh no,
Did
yeah.
he?
If you don't want to cross him.
Trouble is with Kevin, you never knew. Sort of like if we're in the change room, all the lads have played bad. You'll sort of go, oh God, someone's going to get it. And if he goes and you pal, so if he says pal,
that's it. You're in trouble.
You're in serious trouble.
Really?
Big
and
trouble.
the funniest, the lads quite like laughing because obviously everyone knows who's going to get it if they're playing badly. We were playing Chelsea away, so we're playing Chelsea away, and Shaka's got the ball and he's thrown it out to Watto. So Steve Watson's now running down he's got the ball, he's running down. So Bez has bombed on, I've bombed on from midfield. Watto's give the ball away. Right, they've scored.
Yeah.
Steen scored, I think it was.
Yeah, it was Steen.
Mark Steen scores. They go half time. We're walking. I go, he's going to get it.
Yeah, we think
he's getting it. By the way,
Watto's
having
having it.
So we come in after. We're like, at least it's not us. He's getting it. And Keegan just went, Bez, Rob, what the fucking are you two doing? And we're like, what? He went, you know when Watto's got time and space, he's going to give it away. He got Even Watto's like, what was that? That's what he's like. It's like he was mad, yeah.
But you know, the thing was, because you got to remember when Kevin left as well. He was like not under a cloud, but we couldn't speak to him. I tried ringing him. When he walked away, I was disappointed.
Oh, really?
And he just wouldn't speak, and you didn't really know. Anyhow, time went on. I didn't speak to him for couple of years.
Yeah, it would have been years.
Good few years. And finally, I'd sort of like come out of playing football. I was working for Tyne Tees Television,
Right.
and they wanted me to go and do a piece on and he was doing the soccer.
Soccer
circus.
We went together.
We went up.
Edinburgh,
You know, he'd done the soccer circus
Yeah.
thing. So Tyne Tees said, "We'll get you and Rob to go up and be guests, and he'll take us round." But to get his number, I had to speak to Peter Beardsley. So I said, Pedro, I said, I need the gaffer's number. And I was thinking, this is been interesting. I ain't spoken to him for ages. And I'm thinking, so I just phoned this number. And his voice went, hello. I went, Gaffer, it's Bez. And he went, what's your language?
Oh, love it. Love it.
I went, Gaffer. I'm thinking, come on, we surely moved on that. But no, and then we did. We went up, didn't we? And we went round. Because it was, the thing was, I could never understand. It was a brilliant setup.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, but just the middle of
the
Glasgow.
game.
Yeah.
But just wrong place.
Yeah.
Put it in Newcastle.
Stick it in Liverpool, Newcastle, London, because he played England captain.
Yeah,
It was in Scotland. It was just
We were like, what's he
weird,
doing?
yeah.
He doesn't come back much, does he? He does an occasional appearance at a sort of charity race event.
No,
or
he
something,
won't
but-
come back. Won't come back at all. I don't.
No,
Yeah, I don't know
I
what it's about.
I
Hopefully, I get him
don't
back
know.
one day.
Yeah, there'll be a time when he's ready. So, but he likes certain things just right.
When we're training and playing, that if you got something wrong, so anything you got wrong, if it was like might be something you say, might be something you do, you had to do 5 press ups.
Oh,
So
really?
yes,
Yeah.
we've done it always in training. So even if you were like in a hotel and
Yeah.
you said something stupid, give us 5, and he used to do it. And we played. I think he was playing Leeds. I
Leeds,
think.
it was Leeds at home.
Scott Sellers went to kick a ball for a corner, hit the corner flag with his foot. So everyone shouted to give us 5. So Scott Sellers has gone down and given us 5.
And people
then,
are going, what's he doing?
And everyone's going, what's he doing?
On a game.
And then
Yeah.
right towards the end, we were beating Leeds 2-1, and the whistle goes for a throw in, and Keegan jumps up.
He thought it was full time.
He thought it was full time. So honestly, you watch the Leeds
Yeah, it's
game.
brilliant.
So we lads go, give us 5, Gaffer, and he's down doing these press ups like as we've sort of like.
And we're still playing.
Brilliant.
It was just
Brilliant.
But he had that,
madness from a manager who just.
So he'd allow you that freedom, but then you know, like you said, because he used to ring certain people, didn't he? Like if you were going to be sub as well. That was he used to call before the.
Yeah, Terry used to come and get you, didn't he? Terry used to
that
knock on
was
your
it.
door. So
Terry
if you
McDermott.
got dropped, if you were getting, we had like he kept the same team most of the time, but every now and again he'd bring a few changes. So we'd call it you're getting a custard. So if Terry was knocking on your door, that means you're getting a custard.
Yeah.
And so we had a meeting, didn't we? We had a meeting. All the lads knew it was a custard, and he knew it was a custard. And we had a meeting, and all the lads put these bibs on like this. And he came in with Terry, and he went, "Oh, God's sake, lads, this is hard enough."
But it's hard enough. That's it. So if you actually saw some of it, you'd have gone. It's so carefree, funny and laughing.
Yeah.
Everybody taking the piss out of each other, and the lads would, wouldn't it? Because like you say, if Terry comes to knock on your door, some of the lads now go, "I'm not answering it," because they know they're going to get custard.
Yeah.
But it was brilliant. It was the time we had there. It was the best time of my life.
Yeah,
and
brilliant.
we
5 years under
reminisced.
Keegan were just
It was just
amazing,
unbelievable.
amazing time to play
Well,
football.
I mean, let's talk about that because obviously in life, it keeps going, right? We all have moments, whatever your career is, whether it's a footballer or an accountant or whatever it might be. And you have moments where you just kind of think, this is great. I don't want this to end. I watch this with my kids. You know, I wish I could press the pause button
Yeah.
because I don't want them to grow up because I do, but I don't
Yeah.
because it's amazing. And obviously you just said the best time of my life and so on. How do you, when you've had such a high for such a long time as well, it's not like it was one great gig or one brilliant game. It was consistently amazing where you guys were adored by everybody. You're still revered as the legends that you are whenever you come up to the Northeast. So how do you move on in life when you stop playing? Because physically you can't play into your 40s and 50s, although Nobby's having a go in Peru, bless him.
Apparently, yeah.
You know, which is amazing. But you can't do it, really. So how do you regroup and start again? What?
I think everybody does it differently, but I'm not going to lie, and I'm not really speaking for others, but I would say 90% of the lads who I have been around find it really difficult. I found it really tough. The first year, no, it's brilliant. Because your body's knackered, you know,
Right.
your joint. You get up at night, you know, you get up in the middle of the night for a piss, and you can't move, you know, your knees and your ankles, and then all of a sudden you retire and you go, and then you've got free time to do what you want. Then after about a couple of years, you're kind of going, where's that bus? Where's that? You know,
Right.
getting up for training, missing that. And then you're not in a changing room, you know, and all the things that go with that. And then I found it tough, and it was trying to get your head around it. The problem with that is then you start to you're trying to socialize too much. You're going out drinking too much, and I just thought I'm losing it here a little bit. A mate of mine was good for me. Told me to go and see a therapist. What? I'm a Yorkshireman. What are you on about? I don't need that. You know, you go a bit bravado. Best thing that ever happened to me. First one I saw though was garbage. After I met, was rubbish.
Just asked you about your sex life.
Yeah. And told them how rubbish I was. But
And
it was all that, and it was and then if you find, but the best thing I ever found for me was being involved in football in a certain way.
Right.
So it was good doing the TV, but it was also good doing like I don't know, like Q&As. I did the after dinner circuit.
Yeah.
So it's like a performance. I'm just saying. I don't know how Rob dealt with it in his ways, but for me, I just needed that little bit of I don't know if it's an ego thing, but like when you get well done, really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
That. All right, okay, it might be in a working men's club, or I might have just done it on, doing Time Teas, or you've done a piece for Sky or wherever. And it's nice to be remembered, and it's hard. You're never going to replace it, but you hope you can maybe help it along.
And you kind of get institutionalised as well, don't you? So it's like coming out of the army or the Navy, I presume.
Nightmare.
Because I when I first retired, again, I thought, first few, great, brilliant. And then I got a toothache, and I went to my missus. What do I do? You're 42. What do I do?
Yeah.
Well, you have to go to I've not had a dentist. That's always been the club. But then again, I got ill. What do I do? Go to the doctors. I've not had a doctor.
Yeah.
We have the club doctor.
Yeah,
so like it's
I've never been to a doctor until I was in my 40s.
It's weird. And then all of a sudden you're in your 40s, you're asking your missus like, what do I do about getting a dentist? It's sort of like you're like a big kid, really. Again, it's when you go away. Like my kids go, give you all your passports. I don't want your passports.
Wow.
We give out passports.
We give out passports.
Got a Terry or something. No, we don't hold them because we'll lose them.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
So it takes you years to get. I've got right. I'm going to look after all. Even now,
basically learning to be grown-ups.
Yes, absolutely. It's actually I call it going.
It's actually worse now, by the way.
Oh, even more so.
Worse now.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I find fascinating, because hearing you guys speak like this, because the other thing that, again, I've noticed from the sidelines is that footballers seem to do everything so young. They seem to have kids when they're so young. They get married really young.
You're encouraged.
Yeah.
Are you?
I think so.
In our day, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If you were single, they weren't. Yeah. They would ask you to marry you. If you're married, okay, right. Got kids, okay. If you were single, then it was...
Well, you're out again, are you? And putting pressure on you and that, I think so, definitely.
Because it certainly still strikes me, when you're watching the modern game, you'll see a Phil Foden or whatever. Oh, yeah, he's got however many kids. What? He's still a kid himself.
Yeah, no.
How's he?
That's the thing. Yeah, I mean, we're the same. I think what happens is as well. I think it can be a good thing because loads of time on your hands is not good when you're a footballer, because once you finish, you're out. So it did help in that aspect, but for me, then it also helped that I wasn't mentally ready for it, for a family and the security of doing it all. So yeah, you're forever, you're all over the place. And the differences as well, some football clubs are decent, but most football clubs, you're a piece of meat.
Really?
Well, because when they come at the end, because like you got and you sell by dates kind of Jew, they kind of gone, and you're going, I ain't gonna bit. I've just put my body and soul on the line for you. And like by this time, you got to remember Kenny Dalglish had taken over from Kevin. Kevin, I know I could go to him with anything.
Right.
And what I mean by not just football problems, but personal problems. And he was you just felt as though you were part of a family,
almost like a dad figure.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden now I'm speaking to Kenny Dalglish, where I'm thinking I've got no rapport with him. He don't particularly. I don't think he wants me here. I'm now talking to the club, which is changing, and you just feel as though, hang on a bit, I think I deserve better. Then my view of this club is starting to get I'm getting a bit wound up, and I'm just thinking, and all it is just it's just the way football is, and that's how it works. And it's me trying, and then it's me trying to get my head around how it works.
So Bez, got a few quick fire questions that I thought of. So obviously my son plays for Wrexham. He's got a very nice phone book with Ryan Reynolds in.
Right.
Who's your most famous person in your phone book? You can't say Alan Shearer.
It's gone though. I used to have Robbie Williams.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
used
good
to
one.
have Robbie Williams because, like I say, my mate, didn't he? You know,
Yeah.
Swanee, who used to play at Port Vale, and he used to look after him. I've got to tell that funniest story ever. we went out. We went out, and we were going out in Stoke, and so gone down. And this time, Robbie Williams he was take that. You know, he was just a young kid, and Swanee's looking after him, and he says, so he says, "Oh, can we stop at a cash machine?" And Robbie Williams goes, "It's Swanee, get me some cash out as well." And he gives him his card. And anyhow, Swanee goes to a cash machine, gets money, and he comes back in, and he gives him, I think it was 200 quid, but he gives him a receipt. And Robbie Williams goes, "Fucking told you, he's stitching me up. He's absolutely stitching me up. I can't believe it." And I'm trying to remember that the manager of Take That at that time, you'll come to it. But anyhow, he's got his fucking stitch, man. And Swanee's going, "What you on about? What about?" He's gone, I'm fucking overdrawn. And Swanee went, no, that's not yours. He got 200 grand in it.
Brilliant.
And that was Swanee who was playing there. But yeah, we used to go to it. We're lucky enough. He was a good mate of Swanee's, and we used to always go to his concerts.
So also, of the 5 years you had at Newcastle, we had some great times.
Yeah.
What's your favourite time in a Newcastle shirt? On or off the pitch? I don't mind which.
No, I'll have to. The Champions League, the noise. I am against Barcelona.
Well, the Barcelona or your goals?
No, I got the Barcelona noise. The build up. I can remember, Champions League and
the music,
and it just and it's quite. Well, I always laugh because I remember my son. It'd be about 7, 8, just getting into football. And he came on the Champions League music. I said, "I played in that." And he went, "Shut up." like that, yeah. And it's funny at the times. And do you know what? I've never, have you watched them back? I've never watched them back.
I've just seen clips, people saying clips.
Yeah, people saying,
mainly
it's Keith
Gillespie and
but
Spree,
yeah, that night, the noise,
the atmosphere,
it's just ridiculous.
Was amazing.
Yeah.
And also, what's your, I probably know this, but what's your favourite film?
My favourite film, I think I'd probably go Reservoir Dogs.
Yes,
Is that what you thought?
That's not bad. Yeah. I think you always like that sort of one.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
And I know this one. I know this one a little bit as well. So as everyone will know, as you well know, Alan Shearer's got his karaoke song, "Sex on Fire."
Yeah.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Do you know what? Rod Stewart.
I've never heard that.
No.
Rod Stewart. Which one?
Kept that quiet.
Yeah. Georgie boy.
Lastly,
Go on.
off the field, of the 5 years you have in Newcastle, what was your best memory? Is it we used to go out in the town, our camaraderie we had with all the lads, or meeting any sorts of, is it the fans? Because everyone says I said when I first come up here, I couldn't believe how friendly the fans were and how great they were.
Do you know, I think the iconic thing that sticks in my head is when I knew I joined something special, because, I failed the medical to go to Liverpool, and then Kevin had agreed for us to sign. And he said, "We'll get promoted this year." And you kind of going, yeah, you know what the gaffer's like and everything else. And we played Leicester here, last game of the season. We'd already been promoted. And we were 6-0 up at half time. And this is where I'm leading to. And he came in and he just went, "Oh, come on, lads." He says, "Some of these subs would like a game. Would anybody want to come off?" It was like Sunday League, right? Wow. And I went, "Gaffer, I'll come off." Because I'm thinking...
I think I came off as well.
Yeah, and I'm just going, I'm thinking, he ain't getting any better than this. 6-0 up at half time. And Leicester were in playoffs, by the way. And I just remember going up and upstairs, because they were renovating the ground, and Lindisfarne had been singing and everything else.
So John Hall was singing.
Yeah, and it was the place was bouncing. And I just remember just thinking, might have just made a good decision here. And I think that was the start of when I thought, I've made a really good decision. So yeah,
we both made bloody good decisions.
Yeah,
Love that. Love that. let's just have a very quick chat because I'm mindful that you've given us so much of your time. Thank you, John. It's really good. I want to call you Bez, but I don't feel I'm allowed to.
He's got nothing else to do, honestly.
Yeah, haven't earned the right to call you Bez yet. But let's talk about this current team. You know, Tonali, Bruno, Joelinton, Isak, and the rest. How good is it? How far can they go? Maybe not this season, but in a season's time. What's the ceiling for this team now?
I think the ceiling for this team, with improvements, it can go on from there. But I think I can get top 4. I really do believe that. It needs a little bit more depth, you know, with squad wise, because of the way the football's gone nowadays. It's never a better time to be a Newcastle fan. You've got the owners there who are waiting just for all the legalities to be sorted out with Man City and everything else, and then that'll be sorted, I think, in the summer. So that's when I think the spending will start. You've got, you know, like I said, the owners are in place, the management's in place, the team's in place. You're never going to get a better place to play football and have the support. So that's why, like, I'm lucky enough I still work at the club and, you know, doing, you know, the lounges and everything else, and the buzz around the place is just phenomenal. So Newcastle's always been a roller coaster ride, you know, from when we played, you know, to getting to where we are now. So it's like, watch this space, but I think we're not at the Liverpool and probably Arsenal at the moment, and you Man City are still going to, they've just spent 125 million something now, and you know they're going to come back as well, come back strong. And we've got to be getting just tucked in, just behind there for me.
For me, it's typical Newcastle. We've got a chance of getting in the top 4, which I think is achievable. Also, Carabao Cup final is achievable. And it was the FA Cup ain't really started yet. So that's achievable. It's typical Newcastle. We could have all those 3, or within 2 weeks, we could be out of them all.
I know.
And all of a sudden, it's a big down. And that's
it's never boring supporting this team.
No, it never was from our day. It was never like, you know.
I just, honestly, win any kind of silverware, just get that monkey off his back, because it's just, you know, you get people having a little chat. Oh, well, you've never won anything for God knows how many years. Yes, it just eradicates all that crap. For me, though, as I say, to be a supporter of a football club, that's what I say, it's to be proud of your football club. And that's why I was like, we look back and I go, you know what? I played at a time, you know, but you had players, unbelievability, but you know what? Cared and give it everything. Yeah. And I think that's why sometimes, you know, you see some teams, you look back, somebody said, like, you know, Leicester won the league, and I thought was phenomenal. It's one of the freakiest things that's ever happened. And I just go, and we sometimes go, would I do a Leicester one for 1 year? Or would I do me 5-6 years at Newcastle? It's not even a fucking question. You get what I mean? It's like, when I played at, you know, Portsmouth beforehand, and it was a job. It weren't a job at Newcastle. It was just a pleasure. And it was, but there's a lot of pressure comes with it. But it was.
I don't think any other team, now they've retired, get people coming up to you, which we do a lot, and they're not Newcastle fans. God, we love the way you played football.
Yeah.
No one ever remembers who finished second ever, apart from.
That's it. Probably only one.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so is it still pretty special being the two of you? Is it still pretty cool?
It's cool when we come up every now and again.
Yeah,
have a glass of wine.
We have a reminisce now and again.
Reminisce, and a few people buy us a drink. We do love that. We're getting old, but we still do enjoy that, don't we?
It is, yeah. It's all grandmas now.
I love it. I mean, my favourite thing you just said there is that, you know, it's not a job, it's a pleasure. And it has been a pleasure talking to you today, Bez. I really appreciate your company. It's been great fun.
Cheers, Bez.
And he held back. I thought he'd go for it.
I know,
He's got
a lot on me.
I love it. I love it. No,
that's for another one.
All the right reasons.
That's for the X-rated one.
Take 2.
That's for next season. You've been watching or listening to Adopted Geordies, brought to you by BetMGM, the one and only John Beresford, Mr. Rob Lee, and I've been Andy Jaye. We will see you again very soon. Bye-bye.